YouTube! What the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here. The Chaos Big Bird welcomes you to the battlefield. You know who else welcomes you?
Victory is assured, sir!
That's right, my Kentucky Fried Advisor welcomes you to the battlefield as well. And so does the Hell Cannon, apparently. Some Dwarf Rangers are already paying a pretty severe price here. This looks like a manually targeted shot because of the angle it's coming in at. Ooh, man, they're gonna feel that one. So the dwarves, let's take a look at their army. I see some gyros headed that way. We've got just standard dwarf lord. He does not have the ring, which is interesting. A lot of people like that ring recently. I see 2 runesmiths, 3 rangers with great weapons, one of which is Ulthar's raiders. Holy mackerel, man. We've got slayers on either flank, and then just the front line is longbeards with great weapons and dwarf warriors. Double runesmith though, and then we got a gyrocopter, standard gyrocopter, interesting, no brimstone gun. It's actually doing some really good work against these marauder horsemen with throwing axes, which were meant to do good work against the gyrocopter. So front line for chaos is going to be chaos warriors with great weapons, and then interesting stuff, 4 armored chaos trolls. Not something you see very often. And then we got the Everwatcher here giving his guys a pep talk. He's basically saying, hey, I'm a big bird. I crap everywhere I go. Like a lot, and it stinks because I eat like lots of fish and stuff. What does that have to do with this battle? I don't know, but you should go win it. So get moving. Yep, Sartharel. He was never known for his speeches, folks. They weren't very good. All right, so here comes the fight. Literally, though, Sartharel turning his back to the enemy in complete, utter disregard. That gyrocopter wrecked those marauder horsemen. Chaos Warriors with great weapons here are going to get caught out, actually, by the Dwarf Warrior, but they should still be able to win. The mainline engagement started. Those trolls are going to put a heck of an armor-piercing wallop into this fight, and I don't think the Dwarves are going to hold up so well unless they throw the Slayers in, but the Slayers are back here trying to deal with Big Bird and the Gorebeast Chariot, because the Gorebeast Chariot is wrecking through the Rangers with great weapons, and doing so at a pretty good clip here. Missed that shot with the Hell Cannon, but yeah, I mean, anywhere where the great weapon Chaos Warriors are, they should do well. The only thing that's really going to slow them down is the Runesmith with the Rune of Wrath and Ruin. But over here, Dwarf Warriors just get absolutely smacked down by the combination of Trolls and Warriors with great weapons, and Big Bird is just on a rampage back here. The Slayers won't do a lot to him because he moves around so quickly. They just won't get a lot of hits. The Gorebeast Chariot's already racked up 40 kills and is being an immense nuisance to the Rangers with great weapons, which are an important piece of any Dawi defense most of the times these days. A few of these Rangers did break loose over here. That Hell Cannon's got 39 kills. Let's see where these Rangers... Are the Rangers trying to get to the Hell Cannon, maybe? I think they are trying to kill the Hell Cannon. Look at these chariots. Gorebeast's Chariot causes really good armor-piercing damage, too. They are really quite brutal against the dwarves. And now that the Chaos Trolls have broken through the lines, like, these guys didn't take hardly any damage. I think the key there was the Chaos player really allowed his infantry to tank the initial charge and then followed up with the Trolls. And they did quite well. Look at that, 27 kills, and it's back here chasing down these guys. Hell Cannon did actually get destroyed by the regrouped Rangers. Armor-piercing missiles seem to be quite good at destroying artillery pieces. I've done it in an elf campaign with Way Watchers up against Hell Cannons. I would forward deploy and absolutely snipe the Hell Cannons. So we look at this fight. The Dwarf Lord is just about all that's left here because his infantry's gotten absolutely picked apart. And Sartharel is on an absolute rampage. Let's just get some close-ups of some of the stuff that's left. This is going to be a pretty runaway victory for Chaos. I wanted to show it because it's not very often you can see armored Chaos Trolls. So I like the combination here against the Dawi. I like the fact that he had tools for dealing with Rangers with great weapons. He had a Chariot, and Big Bird is 70% resistant to missiles. So it almost sounds like Bender saying he's like 50% titanium or something. Yeah, he's 70% resistant to missiles. So he's a pretty good option at just plowing through a dwarf line and disrupting those Rangers with great weapons until Trolls or Chariots or something else can break through. And remember, the Trolls regenerate as well. So if you don't lose unit models and you can hold together their leadership, they'll be quite effective. Look at this Gorby's chariot. Those guys have got to have some bloody knuckles from rolling around like that. Yeah, chariot's gotten 80 kills. It's done a good job. Look at that, 43 kills on those trolls. Let's see if there's any other trolls with good kills. 52 kills. And it looks like that's some of the only trolls. There's another unit right here. Only 11 kills on these. But honestly, even if they just get some good damage done, they're typically going to be worth it. Right now, there's just a few units left that happen to be cleaned up for Chaos. The last few dwarves are right here. The Lord actually healed himself. And there's one runesmith that's in pretty good shape. But this is heavily in Chaos's favor. I think the... I wonder if the replay is bugged. It's kind of weird that all these Chaos units are just standing over here when the last few Dawi are right here. Let's see what happens. Here it goes. So yeah, I don't know if the replay was bugged or if he's just letting his trolls heal or what was going on. Into that's a little bit funny. Maybe the Chaos player is just playing with the Dawi here. Playing with this food, so to speak. Here comes all the trolls and Big Bird. He may just be worried about fighting all the dwarf heroes straight up with Big Bird because he could get torn apart. But I would think at this point there's really no survival in the cards for the Dawi. But who knows? Their heroes can be surprisingly tanky sometimes. I don't think this tanky, but surprisingly tanky. There's a lot of trolls left. Looks like the gyrocopters are out of ammo, so they're going to swoop down on the marauder horses. Really surprised the leadership for the Dawi held out this long, but that should be the end of it. So victory for Big Bird, folks. It's a Sesame Street kind of victory. Appreciate you, Dav, sending that in. It was kind of fun seeing the armored trolls. Like I said, I'm not really sure if the replay was bugged there at the end or if he was just being extra careful because, I mean, I think we've all seen those videos occasionally where dwarf heroes will stand out to the end, basically. Speaking of, let's go watch another video real quick. I had someone send in a Beastmen Vanguard army that they like, and I wanted to see that one, and I also, this one said it was pretty good too. But let's watch the one with the Beastmen Vanguard army. Said he likes it against Wood Elves and Empire. Let's see why that is. And that's the Empire's got a steam tank over here too. Amber Wizard and a Jade Wizard. So they're planning to heal the tank and try and use Doomflock to rip apart Beastmen infantry. Steam tank causes terror, as does the flyers here. So definitely a terror-based build for the Empire. See what's going to happen. We've got some Centigores with great weapons mixed with some Chaos Warhounds here, and then a main line of Ungor Herd, Gore Herd, Kazrak, of course, because he's a Vanguard deploy, and then there's some Harpies here as well. Now, Beastmen infantry tend to do very good against all infantry of the Empire when matched up in their weight class. So like unarmored infantry for the Empire is going to do poorly against the unarmored infantry of Beastmen, and Bestigor would probably outperform Great Swords. I haven't tested that, but typically these unarmored infantry will absolutely cut swaths through Empire infantry like spears and stuff. It shouldn't be that difficult. Where Empire is going to have their advantage is stuff like this with these flyers. And if they can get those flyers on the ground and swamp them with Centigores with great weapons, that would be a pretty big boon. Here comes the Harpies trying to pin down the skirmishers. And then back here we got a Bray Shaman of Death who couldn't forward deploy, so he's going to roll in. Might want to Spirit Leech. Yeah, he's Spirit Leeching the Amber Wizard. That's still a tough choice because the Jade Wizard can simply heal stuff. So like right back here, the Jade Wizard's using Earthblood to heal all these units the Harpies attack. I'm not sure that's where I would have used it. And then an interesting singled out Doomflock over here on the Ungor Raiders. So kind of an odd use by the Empire player. See the Beastmen Vanguard armies falling apart a little bit here because of the terror from the steam tank and the wizards. We'll see whether or not they're able to pull it back together. Kazrak's not going to do that good against all these flyers. Here comes the Centigores and the Warhounds. Now this Bray Shaman to death in his chariot could do a lot of damage. And over here, the infantry has done a little bit better for the Beastmen, but they're still in trouble because there's this unbreakable Sigmar's Sons. There's a pretty good opportunity here for the Harpies to hit those skirmishers, but they haven't gotten into them. Let's see how this plays out here. I'm not 100% certain this is looking very good for the Beastmen. They're going to have to clean up. I mean, they did get rid of the Amber Wizard, so that's one terror-inducing unit out, but they've still got to deal with the Steam Tank. And if the Jade Wizard is used well, then, well, no, the Jade Wizard got run down by the Chariot. Wow. So that's a pretty big win for the Beastmen. But still, you got to take down a General of the Empire and a Steam Tank with Khazrak and not a whole lot of armor-piercing units left. So we'll see what happens. This Bray Shaman's going to have to kill the Jade Wizard, though. Any healing from the Jade Wizard will absolutely sour this battle against the Beastmen. Spirit Leech, good call, because you have the Jade Wizard routed. You can Spirit Leech down the Steam Tank, so not a bad call. The Steam Tank doesn't have a potion, so that was a better use of magic than using it on the General. And I like how the Bray Shaman's just kind of being unrelenting here. They do have a few units they can bring back from routing. But this didn't look great for the Beastmen, but it's actually looking pretty good now. Because that Jade Wizard's going to shatter. Yep, he's shattered. So no healing for the Empire at this point. Which means that it's going to be... Beastmen just need to defeat that tank, basically. And they should be able to take out everything else. The Harpies are going to try and pin down the General of the Empire, though they're not going to do a ton of damage. But it looks like Khazrak's persistence here with a few regrouped Centaurs is actually working wonders against the Steam Tank. I'm surprised Khazrak isn't getting knocked around all over. Did you see him just headbutt a Steam Tank? I think he just did it again. But it's interesting the Steam Tank wasn't staggering Khazrak a whole bunch. Look, the Terror. See that? The Terrified? So even Khazrak will get terrified there. A few more units that need to be brought in. The Bray Shaman needs to be back here desperately to help start knocking out Empire infantry. And his leadership aura would be very helpful. These Centaurs need to clean up these skirmishers, kind of like these Warhounds are back here doing. But if Khazrak gets chased down and killed, it's bad news. He's come back. Oh, with that Empire General, though, just coming right back for seconds. He's going to use a leadership buff, and that is pretty timely. The Bray Shaman does cause fear, but he's not actually charging at the moment. Instead, he gets one last Spirit Leech on the Steam Tank, which should kill it. So that'll put the Steam Tank out of commission. And it actually blows up in the middle of its own troops. The Centaurs with great weapons were an interesting target for the Empire General to attack. They actually do pretty good damage against him. It's not really the place he wants to be. In fact, if you have enough Centaurs with great weapons. So yeah, now the Empire General's not in a good place. He might as well just stand and fight this, because running away, he's just going to get all kinds of armor-piercing damage dealt to him. So kind of as expected, whenever the Steam Tank went down, the Empire General can kind of be dealt with. When those flyers get trapped on the ground, they're not as good. And there comes another Spirit Leech. So the Empire General's in trouble. The Bray Shaman sat idle for just a little bit, but he came back late game, and he's been able to help get the job done. And other than a few unbreakable Sigmar Sons, this battle's over. So it went back and forth quite a bit. Not perfect on either part for either player, but it was fun to see a Beastmen Vanguard build. And fun to see a Steam Tank from the Empire, too. You don't see those a ton. But they do have uses, and they are fun to use, so I like seeing players do it. The Jade Wizard, combined with the Steam Tank and the General, could have been very, very meddlesome for the Beastmen. They were pretty lucky to get that Bray Shaman in and kill the Jade Wizard. Getting rid of the Jade Wizard there was absolutely part of what saved the Beastmen in this battle. If that Jade Wizard would have lived and started healing the Steam Tank, then that would have been game over. So just, I guess, a tip for those who aren't as familiar with the game: when you have a healer, whether it's vampires or Lore of Life, the healer is going to be really effective at healing single unit models. So a hero, or a lord, or a steam tank, or sometimes even low unit model type units, like demigryph knights. And why is that, Air? Why are they good at that? Well, it's because all the hit points are going into that one model, whereas on other units, so let's say like a unit of greatswords, if there was, and I don't know how many men are in each unit, but if there was 90 greatswords in a unit, as you heal, the hit points that are healing are being allocated back into each of the 90 guys up to the max hit points that each of the individual 90 guys can have. So sometimes it's not as easy to heal up those guys because their unit models die easier. So for instance, healing on a unit that gets charged by cavalry, and let's say that the greatswords get charged by a chariot, and 20 of the greatswords die on impact even though you were trying to heal, then your heal spell hasn't been as effective than, say, like a steam tank who might take a charge from a lord and it may take 600 or 700 damage, but you can heal all of that 600 or 700 damage back. Whereas if unit models die, there's no healing that unit model. You'd have to be a vampire and you have to use Invocation into Heck because it can actually resurrect unit models. So that's kind of why you're going to see players wanting to heal stuff like a steam tank or Karl Franz or a General of the Empire on a Griffin or something like that. So that's where you're going to see that. Anyway, hope that helps. And I do appreciate the replays that were sent in. I hope you all enjoyed them. I say the same thing at every video's end. So today I won't say it. I should have said it at the beginning. But I do need to call out my sponsor because they sponsor me and they're great. And I love MSI for doing it. But yeah, I'll try and say something a little bit different. So how about on this one, if you enjoyed the video, tell me what you did enjoy in the comments. If you want to see something specific or something different, let me know. And in terms of, let's see, yeah, other content to expect coming up, I've been saying it for a few days, but I really am going to record some Deserts of Karak matches I have. And then I'm going to try and go over and see if I've got any Rome 2 replays or anything else I can show you, just to try and give you all some variety as we wait on new games to come out. Not to say that I don't like Warhammer. I do. I get you a lot of it. So yes, I am still thinking about the variety for you all. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you next time. And guess what?
Shame for this place!